If there's one thing in common about sports, is that teammates will always slap each other on the butt. Whether a light smack, hard smack, or even just resting your hand on a cheek. Volleyball girls in a huddle, hands resting on the rump. Baseball player strikes out, slap on the cheeks on the way back to the dugout. Basketball player falls, teammates help them up with an added touch of the back end. There are different ways that players go about touching booties. First is resting a hand on the butt. This is usually done when teams are in huddles. Huddles are a place where connection and focus are mandatory. The physical touch of teammates at this time helps everyone feel comfortable and included. Next is a slap on the fanny. This is seen when players are actively moving in game time. They don't have the time to rest their hand on their teammate's bottom. It is a quick way of telling the player that they have done something for the team, good or bad. Next is the injury butt touch. It's whenever a player gets injured during a game, whether it's their coach or a teammate helps them up with a little pat on the butt or even rests their hand on a cheek without a bit of a reaction from the player. A reason why players smack each other on the butt is because the butt is filled with fat. So you can give it a good smack so the other person can feel it but not necessarily be in any pain. And besides, have you seen some players' butts? Can you really blame players for wanting to touch those big booties with a capital B? Touching the tush of a teammate can increase trust in each other. A player having more trust in the people who are on the field with them leads to better performance. There's been studies that show that teams that touch more do better, Woodmark said. Plenty of studies show that teams that have more contact, whether it's fist bumps or butt slaps, that those teams perform better. And so to me, it's about connection and belonging. The other thing that makes us love physical touch is a nice neuropeptide cocktail of oxytocin and dopamine that releases during a hug. When that oxytocin starts flowing, it triggers the release of dopamine, which comes from the reward center of your brain, making you feel like $1,000,000. With that said, fist bumps, quick hugs, and butt slapping within teammates creates a halo of trust and compassion, and everyone just feels good about themselves. By playfully touching a typically off-limits area, they engage in lighthearted teasing. This gesture carries a sense of playfulness, particularly in high-pressure games. It exhibits a mischievous humor that is commonly found among close friends and teammates. You could argue that a slap on the butt goes beyond bringing back childhood comfort and reaches the first moments of fresh air. A slap on the ass in sports has always reminded me of a doctor smacking me into consciousness when I was a newborn, fresh from my mother's womb.